Aphrodite, we are back live. Yes, we are live, coming to you from the studios in Round Lake Heights, Illinois. This is your Insurance Corner at WLCB Slade's Corner, 101.5 FM. And my name is Bill Miksch. I'm president of WDMA Financial Group in Grayslake, Illinois. It is January 7th, 2025. It is our first show of the year. We took a couple weeks off to kind of get through a few things, get through the Christmas holiday. In my world, we're going through a lot of January 1st renewals, and there was a lot of them. We'll share a couple tidbits about that. Got a little bit of rest, and looking forward to having a banner year coming up with more seminars, more music, and helping our clients get better income, get better health care, get better options for their health care choices, their long-term care, their life insurance, helping them make good decisions with their money. Not every product is of value to an individual, so it's a matter of trying to ask questions, figuring things out, and determining whether or not the client wants to pursue something or not. And I'm going to have a little sidebar discussion about that. But before we get into that, coming to you live from the bunkers somewhere deep in Dayton, Ohio, the man, the legend, the way of life, Sean Hauser.
Was that all for me? Wow.
Yes, sir.
Oh, well, wish I had like a woohoo or whatever, bells and whistles, but nope, just me.
Happy New Year, my friend.
Happy New Year, Bill.
I'd say that for the Bengals, but they were a day late and $1 short.
You know what? They fought back and closed strong, and it always gets down to that. Well, if this team quits and that team does this and the other team does something else, then you got a chance, and it would have been nice if it worked out, but at least we got a winning season, and we're not embarrassing like that team on the north end of Ohio.
Yeah, or the team known as the Chicago Bears.
Well, they were 5-12. It wasn't bad.
Yeah.
They beat the Packers.
They beat the Packers, and they beat them on the last play of the season. And if you take a look at the games that were, games we probably should have won, I don't know if they would have been over 500, but you got the Packers in the first game should have won. Redskins should have won. That's now a 7-9 record. And then there's probably a handful of others where they could have been 9-7 and maybe had a shot at the playoffs. But it is what it is. And that in context, we are now moving into NFL playoffs, so it should be a lot of fun to watch. And by the way, I don't think anybody saw what Denver did. I don't think anybody saw what came to Kansas City, what Denver did to Kansas City on Sunday. Maybe Kansas City was playing their B team, but they destroyed them.
I think they did. Even the Bills game was. I mean, this was a weekend not to watch football because everybody was resting their starters and what have you. So
now, interestingly enough, John, there was I think it was Tampa Bay, and I don't remember the player, but I think he was a tight end. I think his name is Evans, but don't hold me to that. And if he had made a certain number of catches during the year, he would have gotten a bonus of $3 million. Well, he made the catch. And the whole team went nuts. Everybody knew, at least on the team, if not on the stadium, that this guy was going to get a huge bonus if he hit his numbers, and he did. So, that good for him.
There was quite a few of those too. There was that guy with the catch. So Mike Evans, the player you're thinking of, made $3 million because he made a catch on the final play. Geno Smith cashed in on $6 million.
No kidding, really? Does he need an annuity?
Well, Baker Mayfield from the Buccaneers picked up an extra $2.5 million by finishing in the top 10 in the league, or top 5 in the NFC for passer rating, touchdown, passing yards, completion percentage, and yards per attempt. Von Miller in the Patriots game, so he plays for the Bills. He got a sack, which brought him to 6 on the season, which gave him $1.5 million. There's quite a lot of people that just, had to make one, the punter for the Bills. Needed one punt down inside the 20, and he got a payout of $100,000.
And to that end, they did it on the basis of production, not the basis of their name or anything else. They did it on, they agreed on a contract to do something, and they made it happen. And for that, they rightfully so should be compensated. So good for them. Yeah.
Well, I think that in our jobs, Bill, if we do something good, we should, if you open up another 10 annuity contracts by the end of December, you should get $1 million bonus or something like that.
Right, from your lips to God's ear, Sean.
do 10 more signed customers or something, I'd probably, if I had a couple of bucks on me, that and a cup of coffee, it'd probably get me, if I had a couple more closings and $2, I could get a cup of coffee in the cafeteria.
There you go.
Something like that.
Yep.
Yeah, screw up my own joke.
Well, so your Christmas and holiday was good?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, we had Christmas. We had the in-laws over, so we celebrated. And then on New Year's, we were supposed to have a festival, but apparently every virus, so it was just a lot of food for just a few people.
Well, there's nothing wrong with that. Our Christmas was special because Randy had come in from Tampa. Now, I knew he was coming in, but Sally did not. And I had known for a month, and his brothers and sister had known that Randy was coming in, so the only one that was in the dark was Mommy. And about 9:30 the night he was coming in, I texted him. I'm like, where the heck are you? And he's like, Dad, I'm on the tarmac. I don't know when we're going to get to the gate. I'm like, okay. So Sally's going to bed, and I'm just kind of chuckling. I'm like, okay, well, whenever he gets here, he gets here. So he rolls in at 11 o'clock, and he's like, where's Mom? Well, Mom doesn't know you're here. So go wake her up.
Oh, I'd have just had him go to bed and get up the next morning, come down for breakfast, and be like, hey, get some eggs around here?
Yeah, right.
She'd make them.
So that actually, in retrospect, maybe that would have been a better call, but I might have gotten in trouble for that one, or Randy, because I think she would have preferred to be knowing about that when he got home. So it's all good. So it was just the family, and it was a very nice Christmas. We had beef tenderloin. First shot at cooking a whole tenderloin. I've never done that before. So I learned a couple things. I learned that you have to sear the meat a little bit more, but it was good nonetheless. Yep. And on New Year's Eve, we spent, I'm the oldest of 6, so it was me and the 2 younger sisters in my grouping. So there was the first 3, and then 4 years of space, and then another 3. So it was the top 3 that all got together for New Year's Eve. We had a nice gathering, played cards, a game called Crowns. I don't know if you've played that before, but it's a lot of fun. It's kind of kill or be killed, and it's kind of funny to watch other people get destroyed playing a card game, but it was fun. But predictably, I mean, I celebrated. I can say this because I think Sally was still in bed, or maybe she was out somewhere. But I celebrated New Year's Eve New Zealand time, which was about 6 o'clock in the morning. by about 10 o'clock rolls around, and I'm like, oh my God, my eyelids feel like anchors. We're going to go. So we got home just about the time that New York or maybe Chicago was reveling the bell, and that was fine. But I was altogether good. This is a very busy time for me because it's corporate renewals, and I had a ton of them. And the common theme that I kept seeing, Sean, was things are more complicated. There's more moving parts, things that the client doesn't see that we have to do now that we didn't have to do a year ago or 2 years ago. And things are gotten more expensive, no surprise. Deductibles are higher, out-of-pockets are higher, and understandably, the common complaint is, how come the premiums keep going up? It's a complicated mess. It's a complicated mess. I'm not sure Jesus Christ himself could fix what's going on right now at the moment. So we will see. Speaking of messes, just want to bring this up. Of the three topics we're going to talk about tonight, Sean, Social Security. There is a new law called, what's it called here? The Social Security Fairness Act. Are you familiar with this, Sean, at all, or have you heard about it anecdotally or no?
I know the one thing it does is it takes away the penalty for employees that had paid into or were receiving a pension from like a government job or from a, because there was a correlation between Social Security and the benefit payout, and it eliminated part of that.
Yeah, so you're exactly
not
right.
All of it, no.
Yeah, I don't know the specifics, but the biggest piece of this was to kind of square up those people that were hybrid employees that had private sector, job experience and then worked in the government, got a pension, and because of the way the pension rules were structured, there was Social Security money taken away from those recipients, and this has been going on for a long time. This is not just an by the way thing. There's been a lot of fights over this, but Congress, bipartisan wise, fixed this, and I think in the broader scheme of things, it was the right thing to do, because if you think about it, if you spent 10 or 15 years in the private sector and you've got 12.4% of your income going into Social Security, and then through no fault of your own, you get a government job, whether it's a state or federal level, and you're entitled to a pension plan after 15 or 20 years, again, no fault of your own, and then the rules are such that, well, you get this pension, so because you get the pension, you don't get the Social Security. Well, that's not fair on any measure. It's not even right on any measure. So they fixed that problem. And so now you'll appreciate this, Sean. So this law has now been passed. What do you think the average person their expectations are about getting their income in Social Security fixed in the near term? What do you think they think is going to happen? Meaning,
sorry, I missed the question.
Let's say it's you that you work private sector and public sector, right? Mm-hmm. And you heard about this law. You don't know a lot about it, but you know you're going to get your Social Security benefits rectified. Mm-hmm. What's your expectation about that income coming to you? How fast do you think it should happen?
Oh yeah. You would, expectation would be that it should start immediately, or maybe you have to fill out some forms, but then it should be quick to come. Sure.
Yeah, we're talking about the federal government.
Totally. But as soon as Elon gets in there and fixes it, it'll happen yesterday. Yeah,
Jesus Christ couldn't fix this fast enough. So.
Oh, no doubt.
It's going to take months for them to build the systems and do the research to cover the millions of people, and I'm talking millions, folks. We're not talking about a few 100,000, millions of people that are affected by this. They have to go back and do all the calculations. They have to figure out a system that's going to work to rebuild this, and then they're going to have to figure out a remuneration process. It's going to take months for this to happen, and I'm not sure, short of a person who's got a calculus background or an engineering background where they're so meticulous in detail, there's no way anybody's going to be able to figure out how this actually works, and short of suing the government to find out how they actually put this together. So as an advisor, as the article that I read this morning points out, you have to set the expectation. Yes, this is going to be fixed. Sean, it's going to be fixed, and you're going to get income, or Kelly's going to get income, but it's going to be a while. And I don't know when that's going to be, but it is going to happen. It's just don't expect it tomorrow, because tomorrow's not going to come. Let me tell you the recipients of this. So you're talking about employees who worked in private and public sector jobs that are still living. So that's one audience that they're addressing. The next one are spouses that were denied spousal benefits because they were entitled to their spouse's income, but the spouse got a pension, or maybe the spouse got a pension, so they were not going to get any Social Security benefits. Widowers had their benefits either reduced or eliminated from Social Security because of the way this pension rule was structured. And the last one are divorcees of deceased pensioners. So the divorcee is now going to be getting a windfall as a result of this law. And you're talking millions of people. So on the one hand, it was the right thing to do, to give a benefit that every single one of these people are entitled to. It's going to take a long time to get this rectified. I would estimate 5 years minimum before things are at a point where we're good. And that's in a perfect world. But now here's the other part of this. Social Security's a mess. We have 2.5 to 3 people funding one person on Social Security right now. And it's no secret that in the year 2033, if they don't fix this, your benefits, folks, are going to be reduced by 1/3. By law, it will be reduced by 1/3. So Congress at some point is going to have to do something. I don't anticipate the Trump administration doing anything here, because I don't think these guys, as much as I like some of the things that Trump is going to do, I don't think these guys have the political spine to do what needs to be done, which is to raise the retirement age from 65 to maybe 67, and to for Medicare, and specifically speaking about Medicare. The easy part would be to raise the threshold from, I think it's like 172,000, maybe up to 500,000, which I don't have a problem with, except that I would not want the employer to have to piggyback his portion or her portion of that into the same system. That's not fair to the employer, in my view, unless the employer's money was going to end up in the S&P 500. Then I'm all for it. I'm all for it.
Yeah, I know that, like that's kind of an interesting perspective you bring to it, is that, when you pay into it and then it stops out at whatever the cutoff is. And, it happens a lot of times where, you switch jobs mid-year, and so you paid into one, and then they restart the counter, and then you pay in more, and you get that back. I think that there is some remedy there. I mean, I know people are like, well, yeah, but we've been getting that money back now, but there's something to do about it. I think the other side of it is they probably need to look at the system and the fundamentals of it, because much like every employer almost has decided that this concept of a pension is no longer feasible or possible. they need to allow, and I think W was the first president that suggested it.
He tried.
That maybe it's the time to privatize this. And his concern, or the concern of at the time, was people get hands on this money, and if you don't have those controls on it, they'll squander it, and then they'll be in no better position they are when they retired.
Mm-hmm.
But so maybe there's something to this, though, because if it's not the government that's responsible for making sure that money's there, and to your point, it used to be 20 to 1, now it's 2.5 to 1.
Yep.
And there needs to be some not only funding changes but fundamentals changes, because so much has changed about Social Security since it was put in place.
Yep.
That the rules have been distorted. So I think something's going to happen. I think that you'll see maybe the first year that you can withdraw instead of 62 would probably increase.
Yep.
I think that full retirement for people that are entering the workforce now is going to increase from, 67 and a half years to 70?
Yeah, I agree. I think it's going to have to go to a 70, maybe even 72 for just some people. And the reality is, a lot of people are continuing to work, not because they want to, but because they have to.
Yes.
They may have been in an income job that didn't allow them to set aside money into a 401k because of their lifestyle choices or where they lived or medical issues or a handful of bazillion other things, or maybe they had a really good run and then they had a bomb hit them and everything collapsed and they had to start all over again. And so there's a lot of people today that are working because they have to, not because they want to. And then on the other side, there are people that are still working because they don't know anything else to do, and they don't want to just sit home and watch the reruns of Leave It to Beaver and Sports Center.
Yeah.
So it's a dynamic. It also, I think, like everything else, the details are gonna. The concepts are always going to be laudable. It's going to be what's in the details. Well, how is the liver sausage being made? Because I need to know how it's going to be made. And like anything else, folks, the art of compromise means everybody leaves the table angry because nobody got their way. You maybe got halfway, but you didn't get everything you wanted. Well, that's called compromise. And if you want your own way, you're having a dictatorship, or you have such power over the other people that you can do whatever the heck you want and get away with it, and nobody can stop you. That's not the way this works in this country, I don't think. And it's unfortunately right now, the people that are making the decisions, in my humble opinion, to some degree, might be the wrong people, because these people all have pension plans when they leave Congress or Washington or wherever they're leaving from. They got guaranteed income. They don't have to worry. So they've got no skin in this game per se. And even to the extent that they do, it's minuscule compared to the pensions that they're going to get. So I don't know who should be the arbiter of this, but the people that are ultimately going to make the decisions don't get penalized if they make the wrong decision. And it's not to question their heart. It's not to question their character. It's just the way the system is built. These people in Washington right now, Sean, can't agree what color the paint is on the wall. And
yeah,
it's a sad commentary.
I agree with you that there's going to have to be a change, and there is work to be done. And it's been done in the past. Reagan and Tip O'Neill, everybody talks about those two.
Yep.
But they were able to find common ground the first time. And now is when we need to figure this out, because, you're a financial advisor. I've talked to a million of them. Thanks for the steak dinner, guys. But, when you're talking to them, they say, do you want me to plan as if Social Security was going to pay you a benefit upon retirement? And I say, no, I don't, because I want to see where I'm at without it. That way, if I get it, it becomes a bonus. And that's just a cop-out, right? I mean, this was the compact. You pay in We will put that money aside so that you don't retire, or you can retire, but you won't be penniless.
Right.
And now, because of all of the changes to the rules and the borrowing and all of the manipulation of that public trust, it's in a bad shape now. But yet everybody keeps saying they won't touch it, they won't do anything, they won't harm it. You got to do something to it. It needs to evolve, it needs to grow.
Yeah, and I think, I mean, even Trump has said we're not going to touch Social Security, and I just screamed to the rafters. You didn't become a billionaire because you were dumb with money. What are you talking about? Who's feeding you this bunch of malarkey? This is math. This is not complicated. It's simple mathematics. When you have 14,000 people a day turning 65, that means 14,000 people a day are turning 67 and entitled to Social Security full retirement based on whatever their incomes were, based on the schedule and formula that the government put together. That's millions of dollars a day going out the door. Somewhere in the food chain, that's got to be getting replaced. And we have two dynamics that are going on. One, we've got younger populations coming up the food chain that have already acquiesced to the idea that it's not going to be there, even though it's going to be. It's just not going to look the way it looks now. And the second part is, I hate to say this way, but it's true. We're not having 10 kids anymore. We're not even having 5. We're having 1.5. And you can't sustain a system that we have built based on having 1.5 kids. It's not sustainable. Every now and then I've got a family friend of mine who lives in Batavia. I think he's got 5 kids, and I saw pictures of his grandkids. They're helping to keep the family tree alive. I think they've got like 30 people in their family now, between grandkids and extended family members. But those are few and far between. Most people are having 1 or 2 kids, and the younger generation, through no fault of their own or for whatever reasons, they're waiting to have kids until they're in their 30s, partially maybe because of college debt, maybe because of career, maybe because of whatever. But this is simple mathematics. It's not difficult. So hopefully somebody with a articulate way of being able to say this without, putting it in your face. We have to change. If you want to be blunt, we got to change. Got to change. Maybe there's a more articulate way to say we have to make some minor amendments to this thing so that everybody can have their due. And at some point, we're going to have to make some changes that are going to hurt some people, and some people are going to be helped by it. I don't know. I just know this is mathematics. This is not complicated. And speaking of math, Mr. Hauser, we are at 631 at 101.5 FM, WLCB, Slade's Corner. We're going to take a quick break, and then, Sean, we are going to get into the main theme of the night, which is annuities and income. And I know you're going to be waiting with bated breath for that one, my friend.
Yes, sir.
I was really excited when I ran some numbers today. I'm like, oh, this is going to be really cool. So, all right. This is Sean Hauser. My name is Bill Miksch. I'm president of WDMA Financial Group in Grays Lake, Illinois. This is your Insurance Corner, and we will be right back after these short messages.